Peace and blessings, everybody. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Welcome to this week's Real Talk with ZSJ. I'm your host. I'm Sister Zakia. And so tonight I got my brother Tory Russell in the building, and he's going to be here with us to, just share a little bit more about what's happening. Like him, and he stood next to Mike Brown Sr., which is Mike Brown's father, a couple weeks ago to call for accountability and redistribution of resources from Black Lives Matter Inc. And I'm using that on purpose, Incorporated. So, anyway, Tory, introduce yourself to my audience, brother. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm Tory Russell, Ferguson frontline organizer. I organized, since August 9th around the killing of Mike Brown. Since August 9th, I actually went to the police department with brother Elijah Wine, who later became the first political prisoner of this movement. He was locked up for about 5.5, 6 years, and he was facing about 40 or 50. We'll talk about him. He's one of the people that I'm advocating for. Organized Ferguson in October. There's some national things. Even worked with some of the people in Black Lives Matter working on, say her name campaigns and other things. And so I guess the biggest thing is, I'm a Ferguson person, and I'm a director and a co-founder of a new organization called the International Black Freedom Alliance. So,
I love that. International Black Freedom Alliance. Yeah. Say
Pan-Africanism is
more
the way.
about that.
Well, it started out of Can you still hear me?
I can
Yeah.
hear you.
So, okay. So in 2016, Pan-Africanism Today had a Pan-African conference in Zambia. He had about 27 African countries from Burkina Faso, from the young people who was rising up there, from Nigeria and all over. From there, the elders gave me and some other young people a challenge to create an organization and a movement to actually get all our Black people, all our Africans free around the world. And so I, Boosie, Chiwe, Mama Julia, Travis, and other people from around the world started the IBFA. And now we're here coordinating, trying to bring the Pan-African thing not into theory, not to some older things. We definitely take the historical context, but we need a 21st century Black print or Black blueprint for the 21st century for Black people to get free. And so that's what we work on.
And that's real talk, brother. That's real talk. So, man, let's get into it. Like, you know why everybody here. You know what I'm saying? People want to know. I mean, let's just keep it 100, right? And then, that reminds me, everybody watching this, like, it ain't about likes and views for me, but it really is about getting this information out to our people in our community. So like and share this video, this particular one. Anybody who watches this every week, y'all know I don't say this every week. I'm saying it today. Everybody need to listen to what's about to be said here. And it's not in the spirit of divisiveness. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's really in the spirit of like truth, transparency, and accountability. And really at the end of the day, love for our people, and for me specifically, love for those of us, right? Those of our people who continue to be left behind, specifically poor and working class Black folks, right? That's who I want to be held accountable to, period. So Tory, so anyway, like and share this video, man. Get this out as wide as possible so people can hear this information from the ground in Ferguson, right? Like, period. So Tory, like, you hit me up like before shit went live. Me and you been talking for a minute. And so like I knew like you was really about to drop this shit on everybody. And so like when I seen it blow up in the media, I'm like, that's good. And then like I didn't even know then Samaria Rice came out like after you, right? Like, and so it it just kept going. You feel me? So talk to me, or talk to the family. We in here, everybody listening. Talk to us about like what led up to this, right? Like, your conversations with Mike Brown Sr. Just share a little bit about like how you guys arrived at where you arrived.
I mean, for some, they, for some people, they will believe that this was recent because of the $90 million that was disclosed to the Associated Press. But that's not true. Um, as far back as 2015, at the Black Lives Matter convening, Ferguson had a meeting with Black Lives Matter, the leadership. Right? And at the time, I was working with them, so we all went in the room. I actually got off a plane. I was with Reverend Sekou at the time. I got off my flight and returned to be a part of the meeting. All weekend, Ferguson's kind of washed over, and you gotta remember they intentionally they moved the convening out of Ferguson, so it was supposed to be in March at first, and then they said they was gonna move
Which
it.
convening is this again?
This the original Black Lives Matter convening in 2015.
Oh, that was in Cleveland. I went.
This
Keep
ain't yeah,
going.
that's right. So there, and then now you gotta understand. Now they came to Ferguson. I trained them. I talked to them. I talked to their members. All of that. So when we had the conversation, we said we was gonna go to Cleveland to take what we was doing in Ferguson to help Cleveland push. Then they moved it out of March to April, May. Then they picked 2 weeks before the Mike Brown anniversary. Half of the people picked to use the Mike Brown 1 year and go back to Ferguson and bring the whole country there. But Patrice and them wanted to not go to Ferguson. But they wanted to talk about Ferguson. They wanted to big it up. And so what happened at the convention at the end, um, because at the convention they used this young sister Diamond brought on stage. She was like, I'm not really that person. Like, go get Tory or go get some, other people that usually do that. Um, we had a meeting. They told them like, yo, y'all using us. Y'all not giving us resources. All of these things. Now this is Patrice. This is Alicia. This is Opal. This is Kareem, Charlene Carruthers. This is Maurice Mitchell, the Workers' Family Party. This is Tajinway, who worked for the Human Rights Association. This is Merv. These are all of these people who act like they don't know nothing what we talking about right now. But they was all in the meeting. This is what I'm saying. All of these people were there in the meeting. So this is the first time, the first in face. Now we got other conversations happening. That was in face. That was 2015. 2 weeks later, they said, "Oh, we're gonna come to Ferguson." They never showed up. So 1 year anniversary, they don't come. They don't. No one comes from the national table. Nobody comes. And then we had a conversation 2 months after that again to like, yo, what's going on with the resources? Let's do this. No, no, no. All these conversations, year after year, month after month, by Patrice or either Alicia Garza or Merv or Maurice or Tingy or whoever. They just ignore the calls from the people to share resources. And now what they doing is they trying to absolve themselves, saying, "Oh, we never got a formal request. We never heard word." But y'all got Black Lives Matter chapters y'all haven't even talked to in y'all own organization. But we got now. I would like to see them deny that we didn't have a conversation face to face in 2015.
Man, that's deep. So that's this. So basically, you giving us a historical perspective that this has gone back years, right?
Years.
And like there has been a call for really a redistribution of resources that they've been getting ever since back then, and it's not about just now, like how people are, like some people are saying, like, okay, this is just since that New York Times article, everybody coming. You know what I'm saying? So Mike Brown Sr. stood with you, right? And he gave his story, and I, man, first of all, let me just say, because I don't want to brush over this, my heart was broken by the fact that how he talked about, like, he literally has only been given like what, $500 or something. Like, I mean, these people have collected all these resources off his son's dead body and other people's sons' dead bodies. Black boys, by the way. Let's keep it 100. Black men and boys. The money has been raised, and from all those people that you name, maybe with the exception of Opal, I don't see her out in the limelight like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe with the
Yeah, I
exception of
mean,
her.
Opal never played that role,
Yeah, she
but
never. You see what I'm saying?
but but
But the
but
rest of them hate black
we have to
men.
be clear. But we have to be clear. If you ride too long on it, then it's you too. So you can't absolve yourself.
Right, right, right.
And so
I
she
don't
was
even
there
see
with
her riding the BLM. Like when
not
they
no
interview
more,
people about
not no
BLM.
more, not
Yeah,
anymore, not anymore.
yeah,
Not any- but I feel like
yeah.
this is the deeper context that people lack. You know, this why I was like, yo, you know, I had a lot of. I'm like, no, I'm gonna take the sisters out kids, so I'm gonna talk to the people. Well, I ain't gotta, jostle and haggle around. I can just speak freely, and I can give all of it. So even like you said with Samaria, now you gotta understand. I went to the funeral. I drove from Ferguson to Mary Rice's funeral, stayed there,
Right.
talked to the mother, all of that. She told me the next day she was gonna go to work after the funeral. Okay,
Damn.
so and I'm talking to the
She
people.
went
I'm
to
on the
work.
phone.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. Samaria Rice went to work after these people murdered her son.
Not
She
after
didn't
the
even have time to grieve.
I'm talking about the day after the funeral.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like after the funeral, I mean, still, like it's grieving. That's her
So
child. I'm a mother.
that's a fact. And so I'm like, yo, so I hit people up like, yo, we need to get this sister some money. Like she needs some healing. Like she needs something, right?
Right.
Tried to raise money, and the lawyers took the money. Okay, so
What?
I'm saying this from a GoFundMe. So and I'm telling you because I
You
understand
listening
because
to this, babe?
I didn't talk to Samaria so many times. You see what I'm saying? And so I didn't talk to. I probably in close relationship with about 50 families. Most of the families ain't got no hashtag. People don't know, but I just show up because I'm for the people. And what happens is most of the time they got to go to work or they rent backed up or because you got a big profile don't mean your rent stop. Don't mean like Mike Brown. He got kids and he got a child in college. That don't mean that they how you gonna pay for that? So all and then we talk about like Breonna Taylor because I was in Louisville, right? Talking about they got this $20 million something. She didn't get no. She ain't got none of that. So the belief in the people is you see the settlement come in, it go to the family. That's not how it go. You see the GoFundMe come, that's not how it go. Some people actually have to support the family, and that's what we've been doing. But when the resources run out, and they tell the families they don't have it, right? So I'm gonna give you this. Just 2 weeks ago, they had a national call with the families, all of them, whole bunch of families, all across the world. Oh no, we're gonna talk to them. One of the families asked Patrice directly and Melina, Abdul. She was on the call too, right? Because the devil and the devil advocate gonna roll together. Um, they asked her directly, hey, can y'all put a fund together to help families with funerals or mental health costs, or anything like that? And Patrice's response was no. That's the role of the federal government. I'm telling you, this is what she told the families today on the Zoom. No, that's the role of federal government. Y'all just gave out COVID relief checks, so that's also the role of the federal government. Demanding
Girl,
justice.
oh my
Come
God. I'm
on now,
sorry.
come on. This who we dealing with. This who we dealing with. These the people that we dealing with. The people who not gonna be in the street. The people who want to be doctors, or lawyers, or movie stores, or writers, or academia, and scholars. They don't want it because if I had the sister Lisa Simpson from California, who was calling out Melina because she was in the video with Melina Abdul saying we need help in 2016 because they killed her child, right? Melina said in the video she's gonna give some money to her. We just found a GoFundMe where Melina raised over $3 million and still haven't given her a dime.
So
This is what
I'm
we
just
talking.
pulling up. This is man. I had to pull this shit up when you said that, bruh. Listen. I had to pull this up. So the same woman who told the families that they can't support them and put together a fund just bought a house for 1.4 million in Topanga Canyon, right outside of LA. I mean, I don't know about this website.
Right next to Calabasas.
This is public record. So anybody watching, if you got a problem, go look at the public record. I ain't doing it. I'm sharing this because I think that this is interesting and I think that people should know. And here's the details. The buyer, right? Price 1.4 million, right? 3 bedrooms. That's nuts. I mean, I know that's LA prices, but I wouldn't pay, even if I had it, that's nuts.
Look.
But let me just show y'all.
We from the Midwest.
We from the Midwest, though, right?
Million.
Listen, 1.4 million for 3 bedrooms. Y'all crazy.
I have 7 bedrooms.
Like, look, I'm reading that like, But no, let's look at the house though. Like, that's nice. And listen, ain't nobody saying that when you fighting for justice that you got to be poor. But at the same time, if you telling families that you done raise money off of, that you can't help them, but this how you living, it ain't about hating. So I don't want to hear nobody say that in my comments. Period.
You got families homeless. You got
families are homeless. Look at this house. Keep talking, Tory. I'm just showing the pictures. Keep talking.
I'm gonna ask y'all because I know how our people are. We are skeptical, and everybody gonna say people hate. Do y'all remember this sister named Jasmine Richards?
Yes, I remember Jasmine. Oh my God, yes.
She lives in Pasadena, right outside of LA. Now, she was world renowned. They wrote these articles, Black Lives Matter, because they were so proud.
I remember Jasmine.
They said, "Oh, she the first political prisoner." I said, "No, she's definitely not the first." But what happened was the sister did something. She the first person, I think, in the history of the United States to go to jail for lynching. And all lynching means is removing someone from police custody and enacting your own justice. Okay, that's all. The police were trying to arrest somebody at a protest. She snatched them back, which ain't, whatever. After that, she had to go to court, probation, jail, all that, right? Ask Jazz when they was looking for speaking engagements for Jazz, who took her speaking engagements, who took her money. Now ask Jazz how much. Now she got fines. Now why she got fines? She got to figure out how to pay for her ankle bracelets when she get out and stuff like that. This is why you got a $1.4 million house.
1.4 million. For anybody that's just joining, we're sharing Patrice Colors. I think that's how you say her last name. Colors. Okay, Colors. Just bought a 1.4 million. Do you realize that it's Black people that don't own homes at all? The disparity in that? Yet this sister who has raised money off the backs of dead Black men, let's just be real honest about that. Black boys and men, right? Got her launching pad from Trayvon Martin, right? Mike Brown, right? Tamir Rice, right? But it's families that's homeless.
It's activists in her own organization.
It's activists that's homeless.
People driving, and so
look at these pictures.
I'm actually in the car driving down. I'm gonna meet with some down south because this is what you're supposed to do You're supposed to go talk to your people, make sure your people okay. This is what you're supposed to do in the movement. And when millions upon tens of millions of dollars, they can do all of that. It could be moving
Um,
houses
I
in
just had to
multiple
show
cities.
y'all this beautiful house. I'm gonna keep it
That's
100.
amazing.
I mean, shit, what it say? It's rolling in the hills of what it say? Rustic and semi-remote. It's remote. You
It's right
know,
out. I heard it was. I thought it said it was right outside Calabasas.
it is. Calabasas is rich as hell. Exactly. Yeah, Calabasas. That's where Kobe died. Right outside of
This,
Calabasas. Yeah.
I want people to make their own judgment. Now
People need
he
to make
made the.
their own judgment, and it's not about, especially when Samaria Rice spoke up, right? Nothing against you, certainly nothing against, Mike Brown. But when it was like when the parents of these children spoke up, I think that really made the community be like, what? First of all, the community was like, huh, when they seen 90 million, right?
Right.
Right? The community was like, what? And we ain't got a law. I mean, come on now. We talking about material things. We ain't got a law, no policy.
No
Literally,
policy.
black men are still dying. I live in a community where 2 black men have been killed in the last 3 months. Montgomery County, Maryland. Look it up. Black immigrant men, right? Shout out to Quabina, who was killed by Gaithersburg police 1 month ago. We never heard about it. See, that's the other thing. I mean, well, nationally, it wasn't heard about because,
Right.
Montgomery County, Maryland is also a rich, progressive area. And, you know, just another dead end word. But this to me is disgusting. Do you understand me? And I work in the so-called nonprofit industrial complex. This is disgusting, Tory.
They, they got enough money to save every brilliant black mind who works in the nonprofit industrial complex and free of them.
Okay.
I'm talking about
Now
folks
we
that
know, now
invest in
we
them
know where the
grants.
money. So let me be real clear to the audience. The 90 million was raised since George Floyd. That don't count none of the money. There's still not transparency about the money before that. And trust and
Oh,
believe they was raising money before that.
oh
So
yeah,
now we
oh
know
yeah.
how our sister, and I want to know how she paid for that house because I want to know if she paid cash. But anyway, now we know how our sister can afford a $1.4 million house.
For sure.
Most black people can't afford a $200,000 house.
That's it.
Understand that?
A
Most.
$140,000 house.
Exactly. Most black people.
We gotta think about this. And so, in all transparency, I work with people, I work with treat all them people. Because they was black and they showed up, you know. I used to kind of hold my head like, man, but like, oh, that's sad. But it's not sad. It's just like you, hey, look, Tory, I work on education. What would I look like? Be like, nah, I ain't gonna work with you. No, you black. You say you doing it. I ain't finna judge if you come from a nonprofit or not. You gotta feed your family. I'm not finna be judging that.
Right.
You could be a revolutionary trying to figure out how you gonna navigate this thing up out of here. That's fine. But when we had those conversations, it was real conversations. They took those real conversations and the real strategies and they watered them down and edified them for white folks. So we know that in 2016, they went to the Ford Foundation and created this thing called the Black Led Movement Fund.
And
Okay?
Borealis gave the money out. I know.
So Borealis gave the seed money. But then you got the Ford Foundation. Then you got all these other entities that came together. So the movement for Black Lives was a culmination of what they call black-led organizations. If you go look it up now, you will see that the majority of these black-led organizations are LGBTQIA organizations, and most of them are just what they are. They're black-led,
And they hate
meaning,
not they hate
meaning,
black men. And it ain't just, and I'm not saying it's
meaning.
just LGBT, hate black people. I'm talking
No,
about
that's a fact.
the politics that you see written.
I'm talking about the staff ain't black. Damn, we can argue about You black led, that means you black face. That means you doing tokenism. That means you got a Negro ED, a Negro CEO, a Negro president, a Negro in the core group. But y'all not that. So where we have in St. Louis, we got the Deaconess Foundation. We got Action Council St. Louis, right? We got the Bell Project. We got Art City Defenders. These are coalitions that was either started in Ferguson that moved and allowed white people to join it and run it and put a Negro in the front, right? So the Art City Defenders, that's a white nonprofit legal support team, right? They went to go find a Negro and put the face on it. Blake Stroud, I don't even know the Negro name, right? Just one of them Negroes, just put one on, right? The Action Council, Kayla Reed, she also part of the Electoral Justice Project, right? But ask them how much money they get. They won't tell you. Now, we just had an election in St. Louis. These people get at least hundreds of thousands of dollars. Ask Kayla how much she make a year. I know she making 100,000 at least plus. With $100,000, you eat,
Oh,
right?
it's more than
And then you
that.
got hundreds of thousands of dollars in funding in St. Louis with the Deaconess Foundation, all these Negro organizations that's getting money from the Black-led movement. We had a 29% voter turnout.
29%.
29%.
Wow.
So they screaming because a black woman won. Yeah, Tashari Jones won. We held a Black Women's March. Do you think we got some support? Our organization did a Black Women's March. Said we going to the Women's March. We ain't playing tiddlywinks with white women, none of that. We doing something for our sisters. We had her and Kim Garner up, our prosecutor, right? Did all of that, right? Boom. They said, "Oh, we gonna work together." Action Council come in, they do this, and they turn out 29% of the vote. Now ask them. Now ask me how many doors they knocked in my community, the North Side, where the black people. Goose
Wow.
They don't come to our community. The Deaconess Foundation is in the white community. It's
Wow.
right. It's right on the. All these things, right? The Starsky Wilsons of the world, they do this. But all these Negroes do this thing. It's called elite capture. The
Elite
term is
capture.
elite capture. Yes, it is a colonial term for what happens after a rebellion, after a resurrection, after insurrection, after a revolution, right? What happens is the masses of us, we rise up, we mad as hell, right? We can't vote it away, we can't pray it away, and we ain't got enough money and resources to put it together to create an economic engine. So we rebel.
Right.
We overturn the system.
Breaking up a little bit.
The system don't know what to do, right? And as the
Right.
system is walking away,
You kind of breaking up a little bit, baby. You need to maybe you might have to reconnect. Yeah, we're gonna let the brother reconnect. Oh, here we go. You good? Tory, I can't hear you if you're talking. So we having some technical difficulties. Anybody that's new to the conversation, we're discussing. This is Brother Tory Russell out of Ferguson, Missouri, right outside of St. Louis, and he's just giving us the history. He's gonna come back. He having some technical issues. He's just giving us a history of his experience organizing around Mike Brown's murder, right? By Darren Wilson. And a couple of weeks ago, he and Mike Brown Sr. Did an open call to Black Lives Matter Incorporated, Inc., calling for truth, transparency, and accountability, right? And They also called for $20 million to be reinvested into the Ferguson community and the infrastructure specifically in Ferguson. If anybody remembers, we learned that Ferguson was a majority Black suburb of St. Louis that had and still had a white mayor, damn near all white city council, all of that. And that basically they were a colony. The police um, patrolled the community as an internal colony. And so for those of us who were listening before we had some technical difficulties and Tory dropped off, he's going to try to come back in. He gave us a history of his relationships and his discussions with the BLM Incorporated founders, Patrice, Opal, and Alicia. He gave us the history of how they came in, all of them. He named some other ones too. Like he gave a list, like all the ones that are leading in national organizations. I think he named Maurice Mitchell, which is he's the president or something of the Working Families Party. And there's a bunch of other names that he named. Hopefully the brother will be right back. But he talked about the fact that there was discussions even back then to when they talked about resources then. All right, here he's back. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Huh?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We was on something good, and this is something that in Ferguson and other places we teach about, right? The term elite capture is because when the masses rise up, the white people can't control it in the way they used to. So they have to go
Right.
get a Negro class of people out of you to capture the energy and move it back towards the system. So they capture it, right? So that's how people become like ex-revolutionaries. And that's how you can get the same person who was leading the revolution become the dictator, become the president for 20, 30, 40 years. That's how you get it, right? Because you have to install a class, or you do the Papa Doc thing in Haiti, or you install a government. That's what you do. And this is what they did. They installed leadership. No, Patrice ain't in the streets getting pepper sprayed and tear gas with us. That's not that. Alicia Garza probably ain't never marched 100
She,
steps in
from
her
what I
life,
know from my Oakland people, she's never right. Yeah.
right? So, uh, you know, uh, I watch these people come here. I watch some people from BYP come to St. Louis and couldn't get 5 people into a train in the heart of Ferguson. They came outdoors and nobody showed up because their rhetoric don't match. All that feminism, all that intersectionality, all that stuff, it don't reach the match. You can't go to Big Mama and them house and get them out of the house to no meeting talking that all that stuff.
Come
What
on,
you
come on,
talking
come
about?
on, come on. Talk
Right?
about it.
So they had 2 people at the train. And I said, "Dang, y'all some beautiful, smart sisters. Y'all need somebody to go. We want to go out there with you because we doing our own training, but I help you. No, we don't need that. See, you trying to use misogyny. I said, you can call it misogyny, sexism, whatever you want, right?
And
But
you was just
whatever
trying to
that
help
is,
them, and they, damn.
whatever it is, whatever you can call it, all I know is you unsuccessful. So you might want to sprinkle a sexism on it if that's the case. Or you might, or you should have did the political education work to understand where your base is. Them Negroes can't come organize black people. That's why if you go to
That's
Oakland,
a fact.
it's gonna be a
Listen,
kumbaya table.
that's a fact. Listen, and I know that from organizing in West Dayton, Ohio. When I started traveling nationally, like from my base in West Dayton in Ohio, and I started going to these national conferences and I started listening to what the fuck everybody was talking about. I was like, which black people are they working with? Which black people are they organizing? Which?
Nobody. Where I'm at, nobody. I'm telling you,
Because
they
they
need to
couldn't
go to
come
the
to West
training.
Dayton with that. They could not come.
They can't.
People, like you said,
They
people
can't
gonna
come
be
to West
looking
St.
like,
Louis like that. They can't go to West Oakland with that. They can't go to West Baltimore with that. They can't go to the west side of
no.
they can't go to Bankhead with that in West Atlanta. They can't do no West Side. None of that. They're not there for that. They're not there for that. They need to stay where they was at on a college campus, organizing some Negroes who not all of them, but the vast majority of them want to ascend into white supremacy. That's what they organize.
Right,
Negroes is pre-organized who want a good job. That's what it is.
right,
So
right.
the mass of us, the 80-90% that's left, who couldn't even fill out a FAFSA on their own if they wanted to, right? Or if they did fill it out, they ain't got no money. You can't organize them because they struggle. They talking about food, water, housing, education, healthcare. We talking about basic needs, shelter. Them people talking about existentialism and post alone in your thoughts and theories. I'm black, so yeah, Marx is cool, right? But tell me about Jomo Kenyatta. Tell me about Julius Nyerere.
Come
Tell me
on,
about Queen. Tell me about Queen Nzinga. Tell me about John Henry
come
Clark.
on,
What he said. Quote him.
come on.
Don't quote Marx and Engels and Lenin and Stalin. I mean, I'm black.
No, they
Quote
like
somebody that's out
Foucault.
there.
No, they like Foucault. Yeah, they like the white French a gay man who they haven't canceled since it's been found out that he was also messing with little boys in France.
I pulled up to these cities. I go to these cities, it'd be a big protest. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, all them. You go to Ohio. I've been all up. It don't be Black Lives Matter organizing them protests. It don't be Black Lives Matter organizing. It might be a press conference they organize. They might do the rally, but when it's going down and flames going up and windows getting busted out, people fighting the police, that ain't BLM. You'll be hard pressed. You might find me one or two places. But if it is, it ain't just BLM either. It's a coalition of groups. In DC, it's a whole bunch of organizers and organizations. But you read the newspaper, you watch the news the next day, Black Lives Matter did. And I'm telling you, this summer, when we
Man,
gonna
I can't
lose,
tell you. You know, I
go
got
ahead.
my own organization, and I can't tell you how many times I have my organization and I have been referred to as a Black Lives Matter activist by the
You can't even
media.
you can't even do it. You can't.
And I'm like, what?
You
I
say
existed
something.
before BLM.
Hey, look, I was black before Black Lives Matter.
Right.
I was that kind of black. So I showed up in Ferguson black. So they're a different kind of Negro. But that's what they do. But you gotta understand, this is the thing y'all gotta understand. They got a whole media company. They got Blackbird, which is their media owner. They got Merv and the rest of those people. They full-time job. What's the sister name from? This a sister from down south who work for them. They full-time job is to create press releases and talk to press. That full-time job. Now, ask me where they got all their media content from. Ferguson.
Where they Ferguson. Wow.
They took all our media contacts. So we wasn't sharing our media contacts. And it's like, oh, we don't work together and that. I start putting them on a press release. I start doing this. And one by one, they start picking it up. And that's what they did. So one day they just like, oh, well, let's, try to put our press release together. They took all the emails off. That's what they did.
Wow.
So a whole infrastructure is Ferguson. The whole verbiage is Ferguson. The whole damn system is guilty as hell and all that. Like we cursing at eyes. We like fuck, fuck. Like we pigs in a blanket, frying like bacon. Like we proud to say this shit. But they don't care about Bassem Nassery, who died. The protest, the Palestinian person that was out there with us, and they don't care. You think BLM said, "Oh, we gonna send a reef, or we gonna help the janazah for this Muslim?" But no, they put this naming the struggle. You think they said, "Oh, brother Elijah Warren, we're gonna put something on you," or Josh Williams, the Ferguson kid who do all the protesting, who locked up right now? You think they put money on his books and doing a drive, and not just put money on his books, because in jail it's different. Because Josh is a famous Black Lives Matter protester, so everybody at his neck and all that.
Right.
But when
Right.
we don't have the resources and we ask you to do it, you don't do it.
Right. Talk
So
about
this,
that more. Really explain to the audience, because like we know that there has been deaths of black men in Ferguson. Um, you know, there's been really strange deaths of black men in Ferguson. There's also, like you were talking about, black men who are now political prisoners from Ferguson that we don't talk about and we don't hear about. Their names haven't even been added to the list of political prisoners. Can you talk a little bit about that?
like I said, on August 9th, I went into the Ferguson Police Department with brother Elijah Warren Davis. He was the first person to really talk. I wasn't really talking at the time. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't really there yet. I wasn't as vocal. I just knew how to organize the people. But he was saying no, this. He hitting them with the facts. I'm like, man, this brother brilliant. How they strengthened them and him organizing. And they put conspiracy, said that he tried to kill the old prosecutor and blow up the arch because he was having a phone conversation with an informant and he didn't know. And all he did was not deny something. So the informant insinuated blowing something up, and since he didn't say no, don't blow it up, they got him on that. And they asked him like, "Do you got this?" And they said, "Oh, he said, I'm a sovereign citizen, right?" And we have all these conversations, right? But they say he bought a gun in his sovereign name and all of that, right? And so they kicked off everything. But this brother was facing 50 years. His wife was pregnant at the time. And in the courtroom, they said, "Oh man, minimum of 50 years." The wife passed out. Passed out, fam. Let me tell you something. And I'm gonna tell y'all this, because this one changed it for me. This one I knew was serious for real. Not on book series, not on YouTube University. Because I see all them videos and Negroes say Ferguson was fake. It was a dry run for martial law. You know all that Illuminati crazy Negro. That crazy shit. That Negro wasn't saying nobody face. Right? He facing this time. His wife passed out. They go take out the court. You know all that. Stop the court. And the prosecutor said, "Man, it's a sad day, but congratulations. You just had a daughter. Congratulations." He said, so we're going to be a little sympathetic to you since you just had a daughter. You're facing 50 years. You probably going to get all of that. Might not get out to 20, 30 years. A lot of the political prisoners from the 70s and 80s still in jail. So you might do the
Right.
whole 40 or 50. Said, so we got a plea bargain. You can take 7 now. You do the 50. You said. Before you think about that, I just want to tell you this. When you get to, you decide.
Breaking up
Let me
on
know
us
what you
again.
think. He said, he told Brother Ali, look, I'm gonna tell you like this. It's the hurtful part. You can take the plea and get to your daughter when she's a virgin. You can not take the plea. You can get to her when she's not. You let me know what you're gonna do.
That last part you broke up. You can get to your daughter while she a what?
Get when she's a virgin or when she's
Was
not.
she a virgin?
Meaning
I
you
got
do
you.
the whole. Meaning you do the whole 50. Her whole life gonna be gone.
Right.
You take some time because you got co-defendants and people lying and snitching on you and other people. And I think he was in the Black Panther Party, New Black Panther Party, all that. You know how that goes. So he's telling you what it is. But when you facing that, that's what you up against. And that's what it is. So you got that brother. You got other people. Brother Talal, who in Illinois, they tried to say he was trafficking women and all kind of stuff. Just threw the book at him. He did his own trial in Illinois.
Wow.
Josh Williams, he went in at 18. Talib Kweli helped raise $100,000 to buying Josh out. We took the money to the jail support people. They try to act like they took the money and then put press release saying that the money wasn't used for that and they cut a deal with whatever. He got out on bond. We bought him a phone, gave some money to his mother, all this. This is Ferguson, right? This one I knew was going crazy. He got out of jail. People was trying to brag on who got him out and all that credit. Then they took the young brother to a protest. He got beat up and arrested at the protest. They used
Damn.
an extra arrest in his court trial, right? And said that he was a menace to society. And the judge spoke in his court that we got to make an example out of you. This is 2015.
Wow.
We
Wow.
talking about making an example out of somebody like this, like we in the 1950s. And you think Black Lives Matter say, "Oh, we're gonna pay for lawyer fees, or we're gonna pay your mama rent, or we're gonna pay for protection." And now you think they doing it? No, this don't even come because they mind ain't there. They don't even support the political prisoners now. You go to Black Lives Matter. They ain't talking about free Mamiya. They ain't talking about, oh, we gonna pay for the funeral of Romaine or Chip Fitzgerald or Deruba Ben came home. We gonna celebrate you. They ain't doing none of that. They're not doing none of that. So if they don't take care of the old political prisoners, the political prisoners now, they ain't taking care. They not even taking care of Jasmine Richards in Pasadena, Black Lives Matter. And that's the thing. When after the video went viral, I talked to all the Black Lives Matter across the whole country, outside the country. And they said, when I had a conversation with them. It took 48 hours. They said we have yet to have a conversation with our own leader. It is that some of them have never talked to Patrice Cullors or Alicia Garza or Ogle ever in life.
Ever in life.
Ever in life. You're in an organization you ain't never got no money from. You can't get on a conversation with. And when you try to talk to them, it's some Negro that you don't know being represented.
Gatekeeping.
Like in the letter, the gatekeep, the letter that I sent today. Do you see the letter I posted on
Yeah,
Facebook?
yeah, I saw that
It's a
letter.
letter
That's
of
why I said we're
support.
gonna talk about that tonight. Go into that letter, what it said.
Basically, Patrice is now saying that her life is threatened and that she don't feel safe. That's one of the things she said on the call. And I said, do you think Mike Brown senior life safe? Do you think Mike Brown Jr., he got sisters and brothers, Do you think they life safe? You think Mike Brown mother or Samaria or any of these families who faces out there who spoke up, think they safe to walk around to do what? Mike Brown can't even get a job in St. Louis. I'll give you one better, right? We can't even go into the urban league that's in Ferguson. Can't even use the urban league. So you know how the Quick Trip burned down? They built the urban league. Nobody asked them to put an urban league there, by the way. Nobody asked. We asked for a Boys and Girls Club and name it after Mike Brown. We got one down the street that refused to let us in and refused to name it after Mike Brown Jr. This is the bad part. And these are Negro leaders of it, right? Can't get in there. Can't get off. Can't do a meeting. Right? This is what they do. Raising money, saying, oh, we support them more. How you support it? This is the elite capture process. Where in which every Negro who got money before, they got $5 before, now the movement's strong, now they can get 20 out of it. But if you ask them Negroes what they doing, they not doing. They don't care. But we not safe. You think Josh is whirling now. He got NPR and New York Times, all that coming into the jail to interview him. You think he's safe when he walked through there?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you scared with $1 million house, you got millions of dollars, and you got $90 million or $60 million after you done spent it on whatever. You never gave us a receipt, never showed us where the money went. They could be in Dayton, Ohio, right? With a Negro
Yeah.
making 100-something thousand. They found out in San Diego that the leader of Black Lives Matter in San Diego, I think around Stephen Clark, he was murdered. They had a black woman out there. She was making $100,000. Nobody even
Right.
saw it, like was incommunicable and couldn't get the money back. But see that she don't get sick. So they got some Negroes to sign this letter. None of them live in Ferguson. Even the person that said Ferguson Frontline don't live here. Okay? They don't live here no more. They ain't been on the street in years. But you got other Negroes out here protecting it, but they on the payroll. It say right there. They work for the Global Network or the Foundation. They own the payroll. They get money from them. They get money from the Black Lives Movement Fund. They get speaking engagement through Black Lives Matter. How
Right.
you your boss told you sign your work slip. And they just calling it let us support. That's not what they see.
It's a lot, Tory. It's a lot, brother. I'm
But
doing everything
imagine
I can to hold in this anger, because usually my anger, either tears will flow, or it's just it's a lot. And
I used to cry all the time.
I'm
When
sorry.
Ferguson first happened, I used to go whenever I spoke, I used to cry every time. But I remember it was like a couple of days before Malcolm X, the day he was assassinated. We spoke at the Autobahn in Harlem, and I was emotional because I was like, man, this is like really crazy. And I was just really emotional. I remember that because I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, we really building a movement. We really trying to do something. And now when I look back on it, I don't have a single tear because it don't move me like that no more. Because some of my comrades and people in the movement, they may be active on Twitter and social media, but they don't live here. They don't do much. They don't do anything. They quit because you jaded. You're so hurt.
Right.
You put in all this work. You put in sacrifice after sacrifice, and then you don't get nothing out of it. Like you just out here struggling. Like I know people homeless. I know people living 4 or 5 people. I know people whole relationships that broke up because they didn't put in all this work and they can't get $1,000 a month stipend from an entity that raised probably well over $100 million. They probably Black
A
Lives
thousand
Matter
and a
probably.
thousand dollars a month ain't shit, by the way.
By the way,
By the
when you
way.
buy when you allegedly buy $1.4 million house, when you
When
sold
right out here
when
buying
you
$1.4 million houses.
when you selling when everybody got a book deal over there, and the book deal at least $1 million up front.
Right.
This is what we talk. They go do speaking engagements, and then you gotta understand that our organization is made up of people who used to be a part of Black Lives Matter. That's why they
Wow.
here. They say, "Oh, Tory, I follow your work. I'm Black Lives Matter." I'm like, "I'm not part of Black Lives Matter." They say, "Oh no, but no, not none of that." But what's going on? Because and then we had a conversation. They said, "I ain't never talked to Patrice." I said, "I talk to Patrice all the time." And up to this point, I've had a great relationship with Patrice. Never had nothing wrong with her. When we was in the meetings, we never politically disagreed or anything, right? So for me, I was shocked. And like I told him when we got on the phone, because we all got on the phone and had a conversation. I said, Patrice, you know people like I know people. She said, well, you should have called me. I said, I don't even have your number no more. Do you know what my life is? I said, the police beat me up, took my phone. Nobody came to get me out of jail. They
Wow.
just took my phone and tried to give it back to me, took my laptop. That's y'all laptop. That's your phone. I don't know. I don't want that shit. That shit bugged and all kinds of shit. Give me 2-3 weeks to get my stuff. We not doing. I'm like, where was y'all at? But when I was locked up, I looked at TV. They said Black Lives Matter protest. So you knew somebody was protesting you. You didn't call nobody and say, "Hey, Tory, I know you got kids." When Patrice and them came, my daughter Asada was, she was in my baby mama womb. That's
Your
what I
daughter
so
named Masada too.
her name Lavender Asada. Yeah. So that's and that's the thing. It's like she know all this. So you ain't think about this. But when I told her on the phone, I said, "I'm not even mad at you, fam. I told you like I told everybody else in the movie. If you would have called me last year, last month, last week, last night, I would have said, and you would say, damn, I got $90 million and I don't know what to do with it. I've said, nigga, you know I'm mad at you. But, hey, I'm on my way. I'm going to tell you who else need to be in the room. Let's do this. That's all I would have did. Because it's not about if I like somebody. It's not, I always felt like I'm probably more radical than most people because I just put something different into it. Out of Ferguson, you're probably more radical than most black people because you had to do things against the police and against the state that other people had to deal with. You had to deal with the police actually physically coming into your house, making phone calls on your behalf to your family,
Right.
having the police come to my job and losing my jobs and like that's what they do. So other people don't may not they might think it's a conspiracy, but we had to directly deal with that, and we still dealing with that with no resources. So for me,
Right.
it's like if Malcolm and Baldwin and all those people could sit in the room and work through their differences, that's what I was willing to do, right? But
Right.
they weren't willing to do that because
Right.
the Ford Foundation would have told them no, Google would have told them no, Amazon would have told them get that nigga out the way. That's the
Wow.
problem. The conflict is, I
You
remember this
too
nigga
rough around the edges. You're not polished enough. You don't have the
I'm
right
not.
language.
I don't want to. But just the thing. I do, but I'm not finna do that for you.
I got you. I
I'm a
feel
nigga.
you.
I'm a nigga from the hood, but I read books too.
That's right.
I like to read. I love Walter Rodney like everybody else.
Right.
I love Dr. Amos and John Henry Clark and Dr. Francis. I love them, right?
Right. Oh,
You know,
they
I would.
but see, the Patrice and them, they ain't reading that clearly.
They don't tell
And
y'all
don't
that they
don't say nothing about Francis Cress Wilson because they really gonna go off.
they tell y'all that they don't read it. But I know them. They came to my house. I've been to their house. We all read the same stuff. They publicly say they don't read that. All they read is Bell Hooks and Angela Davis. Let them tell. But they listen. They watch Umar and all that stuff too. I'm telling you because we watch together. But
Yo,
that's the thing. That's the point.
hold on. Breaking news. Breaking news. Hold on.
We
Patrice
all
and them
here.
was watching Umar.
We but everybody, all them. We acting we acting like what? Like so. Look, I'm gonna do it like I cracked the joke. I said, so I'm the only person in the room that gave Umar $100 when he came to my city, talking about he gonna build a school. No, I know y'all lying. I know everybody here gave him some money because I remember seeing some of y'all in here. So,
Right.
but it ain't no thing like support that brother. Like people support you, but it's for the community though. The person is just we can't be caught up on the messenger. Just get the message is what's clear. Ain't nobody over here
Right.
raping people, nothing like that. So we ain't be bopping people over the head. So why we having this conflict? The conflict should not be a
Right.
personal one. It should be a political one. And politically,
That's
we should
right.
be able to disagree in public or in private or both. It don't matter to me. But like I said, I don't get to not know. So if something
Right.
happened
Facts.
to something happened in Ferguson, it's Tory. They gonna call me. I'm telling you, this how it go. The jail happened last Sunday. People try to break out the jail for the fourth time in St. Louis. I
We've
get the
been
calls
watching
from,
that.
but that's I'm down there. The nonprofit Negroes, the Bill Project Negroes, they get all the money and scream and close the workhouse. Now what they gonna scream? Because the people from the workhouse is now in the new shiny jail. So now you need
Wow.
to close what? All of it? Yeah. But that's why I started it. But they say, oh, that's not a good catchphrase. That's not a shiny slogan. That don't make a good hashtag. But my people want free. Some people is willing to jump out the window to get up out the conditions with COVID in
Wow.
there. So I'm telling you, they tying up sheets. And they scared. They really want to, but they don't want to die.
Right.
But they like, I'm sitting here for 2, 3, 4, 5 years waiting on trial.
Right.
I'm sitting here with people. They say there's 2 people in there in COVID. They take them out of the pot, put them in another pot. Then you go in there and they just no. What do you mean? Well, they
Right.
like I gotta share the same phone with the person. I gotta eat in the child line with the same person.
Right.
But the movement saying what? We need a campaign. We need a slogan. No, it ain't. Give the resources to the people who know it best, and don't try, like they say it's leadership, but they got to insert leadership here. So they gonna put a Negro who don't do no work in the black community here and get in the bag, and then that Negro
Yeah.
come back with nothing. They, and they're doing it in every city across the country. You may not have a
Right.
Black Lives Matter chapter in your city, but you probably got somebody that's getting a check from them, that's getting a service check, that's probably under bold black organizing leadership development. They probably go to them things and all of that. That's how deep it is. So you go to, and this is another thing that people gotta understand. You go to something that they say black and it be white funded. You go to something that they say black and it be white leadership that they be like, don't show up today because we're going to the Negro part of town. This is what they do. And I've watched them,
Damn.
and in my city, I'm like, yeah, y'all can't come on, y'all. So they know you can't come my way and do that because we gonna run you out. But that's what we got to deal with, the neo-colonials, the elite captures and stuff. So it's like when election come around, Black Lives Matter want all the electoral money, right?
Yeah.
But now we just had elections in 7 out of the 11 black districts in St. Louis City and 24 black districts in the county. I didn't see no Black Lives Matter money supporting these black people running for mayor for the first time, city council. I didn't see no Electoral Justice Project and Rakia and Kayla Reed and all these people giving money and Jessica Bird. They do all this political. They not here. They don't get no money to the people in Ferguson, Pine Line, Wellston, the little small municipalities, Normandy. A black man who said he was going to fire every racist police in this district. And Normandy lost by 9 votes and couldn't get no money. But the Electoral Justice Project over there running around the country screaming about what happened in Jackson, Mississippi. That might be cool for the people in Jackson, but it's more than just Jackson. You get
Yeah, they ain't
national.
fooling nobody really in Jackson. It's the same kind of setup. You familiar with our brother? Mm, mm, I done lost his name.
With
He be going.
Cooperation
He
Jackson.
he. No, not Kali. He
Oh,
works
you
with
not Khalid.
Kali.
Oh, you talking about Adolfo.
Woo! Adolfo be going off. You know who I'm talking about. Adolfo. Oh
And,
my
and, and,
God.
and we be talking. And so I always talk to them. We getting back and forth. But like I say, it's like we disagree on the minute details. But like you said, what's they going to do St. Louis like they did that? And this the
Yep.
point, though. But you got to be humble. And,
The other
this
thing
the
is
thing.
Jackson is also so black. It's so black
And
that
so I'm finna go there in a couple of days because I don't do the phone thing well. I pull up because you can't tell me you doing some revolutionary shit somewhere, and I ain't gonna. And black people doing it. I want to see. I want to learn. And
where you
when I
headed?
pulled up, we headed to Atlanta first because we got some people out here, and then brother Haroon, the street room, has passed away last month.
Wow.
Um, strong brother. So I know because Darren Seals and other people, and Edward Crawford, the brother who threw back the tear gas, that's Edward Crawford, and we call Skeeter, and people like that, they're saying, so I just want to come check up on the homies. Because you got to check up on it. Because I know when Darren Seals was killed, for, for I think for 48 hours, I didn't even go outside.
Right.
People had to literally pull me out the house. Brother Nassim
Right.
had to physically pick me up and put because I was like, and then when we tried to protest and do what Darren Seals said, because a lot of people use Darren Seals in the conversation like, oh, Darren Seals was yeah, he was talking about some stuff, and we sometimes we disagree. But like I tell Darren Seals everything. So every information I gave it to D Seals to tell them the truth. So
Right.
when he's talking about Black Lives Matter, I'm giving them the information.
Right.
So we had a conversation. He's like, man, because I talked to his mom. He's like, you love my moms and all of that. He said, but look, man, if they kill me, man, don't let my mama do the whole church and all of that stuff, dog. Take them outside, tear this motherfucker up. So when it happened for a couple of days, I was shocked. I was shook, and then I had to organize escape. He gave instructions. Don't kumbaya, don't be crying. Tear this motherfucker up for me. And these people would not do that, man. And these are people who to this day will put bandana seals on their t-shirts and their headers. But I've seen this. And that's my thing is like when you in the movement, in it for real, you see people not
Sada,
not live
don't
by the
call
shit they
nobody.
post.
Right.
They not living by the stuff they post. And that's the thing. So while everybody probably think I'm at home or waiting on the Black Lives Matter check or whatever, I'm out here creating another movement. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think that they're gonna get it. And when I talked to him, she said she's not gonna give us nothing. Right now, all they're trying to do is find some people. Um, they're gonna find some Negroes in Ferguson to give $5 to. They're gonna try to
Yep.
sprinkle some money to
That's
the
usually what
families
happened. They're gonna give it to
and
everybody else
backdoor
but
some
you.
people. And that's fine. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I did my job because if I have to force them to do that and you don't respect it, but you take the money on the behalf of the sacrifice I've made and all that, and you don't care about the death threats that me and my family do. You don't care about the fact my baby mom like I don't know if you can come over because all of that. Like tell my son, hey, hey, you can't watch the news this week. They don't have to go through it. Don't YouTube your
Right.
daddy. Don't Google your daddy this week.
Right.
He called me like, "What's going on?" I'm like, nah. But I just tell him the truth. And so, if you're willing to do that to me, my kids, Mike Brown Senior, to other families, to other families with no hashtags, to other communities that's hitting us up, and that's who you were all along.
Right.
You was a backdoor, backsliding, trying to cut these Negro anyway. So I want you to expose yourself. Because I know Melina and I know Black Lives Matter sending these Negroes that don't know their names. The Shalom Bauer people that's he on the list too. And that's right. I was gonna make a point to say Shalom Bauer, the deputy executive director for the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, a former
Wow.
Democratic surrogate and consultant for the Democratic Party, is the deputy executive director. You can go to his Facebook page if it's still up there and find him dancing with a non-black woman, look like a white woman on TikTok, celebrating with Kamala Harris and all of these people, and working on Barack Obama's campaign. And that's why the movement for Black Lives is Democrats. They're not looking for black political power
It's not about
because
yeah.
they it's not about that. It's about elite capture. It's about moving black people back to the Democratic Party. It's about moving black people back to vote. It's about moving black people back into nonprofits. It's not about black people doing something sovereign. I'm talking about reparations, like really organizing reparations. It's not talking about black people going back to Africa. It's not black people really building a movement and taking $90 million. And, you can pay thousands of organizers a month with, $90 million. You can build all
Right.
kind of houses. You go to Africa and
Not
build
only that,
thousands of
not only that,
stuff.
how many institutions could they have at least seeded and started with 90 million? Institutions.
I'm talking about institutions for real.
Talking
I'm
about
talking about
schools.
they can look. Watch this. They can give Umar the rest of his money that he needs.
Get Umar that money to start that school.
They give Umar his money.
Hey, brother, I'm cracking up though.
Give Umar
Listen,
his
man,
money. All of
I,
that. They
right.
can go to HBCUs
HBCUs,
and have a
man,
scholarship fund.
it's so much that black
They
people
don't.
need.
It ain't no gardens. They could go to Killer Mike and give him some money for the banks. I mean, they can do it all. They can get some money to Jay Morrison. They can give West Bellamy money for the Black Political Party. They can do all that and still have $50 million left over.
Man, we're gonna have to bring you back though. I know you traveling. I know you still out there with the family. I'm wishing you traveling grace and all of that. But I definitely want you to come back when you
For sure.
know got a better connection because this was good, but I feel like it's so much more that I know that you need to say. It's so
I
much
know.
more that I know that like just needs to be said. And I appreciate you standing with Mike Brown's dad. I actually met him, by the way. I meant to tell you that I met him in 2019. I think I know it. I got a picture with him. I posted it on Facebook. I don't know if you saw it, but it was at a conference and he was there, speaking or whatever. And just a good brother, you know what I'm saying? And I gave him my condolences again and just thanked him for being as strong as he was or he is, you know what I'm saying, to still be traveling the country and telling the story of his son, making sure that people don't forget his son's name.
And
And
Mike,
Darren
and Mike
Wilson
is,
still
and
running
Mike
around here.
and Mike is trying to learn how to organize. And they do. Is the foundation chosen for change. They do a lot in the community. You know,
Right.
they getting acclimated to doing these things. But you gotta understand, COVID killed it. So for Mike, you gotta understand, Mike was feeding his family off of speaking engagements.
Yeah.
COVID killed it, right?
Yeah.
And so it would be nothing for the movement to set up a speaking bureau for them to get some money and all of those things. That's easy. And so if my mind can think this quickly and just me and you can probably go through 30 minutes and think of a whole bunch of ideas and a whole bunch of organizations and collectives. You out there in the DC area, DMV, I know PALM, Pan African Liberation Movement, they out there. They can use
Oh yeah, it's
money,
a
right?
lot of like blackety black organizations in the DMV. Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
They can be funding so
You
much
you
for
you got to
them,
let me
right?
know when you hear. We got to build for real. You got to let me know when you
Yeah,
hear.
I'm trying to get out there. I'm trying my best. It's a little cold, so I'm going south. I don't do
Man,
cold weather.
the weather good here now. It was like 72 today. Stop it.
Oh, okay. It's like 80.
Stop
It's
it.
like 80 in Atlanta. It's like 90
I know it
in
was
Alabama.
80 here yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the weather good. You talking about it's cold.
Okay, man. I see
Man,
y'all in like
DC, look,
30.
DC is the South.
No, y'all mid Atlanta.
Technically.
Y'all light. Y'all East Coast light. That's what that is. That's what that is.
Listen, I appreciate you, brother. Much love and respect for everything that you do, for sure. Um, yeah, stay safe out there and just keep doing what you do. Keep me posted. As you know, I mean, you got my number. You know what it
For sure.
is. You know how to get in contact with me anytime, really.
For sure.
So,
For
but yeah,
sure.
let me
I just want.
yeah, text me when you get to Mississippi though. Let me know if you get up with Adolfo. That's my Hey, I love Adolfo. He that's my dude.
You know what? When I get there, me and him gonna go live together.
Yes.
and we're gonna talk about it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm gonna leave because I know Mama Julia and the organization gonna kill me if I don't say it. Look, um, I know y'all see what's going on. Some of y'all interested, some of y'all not, some of y'all just curious. Any of those things make you want to move, I'm asking you to move to the IDFA, it's the International Black Freedom Alliance. So if you believe that black people are smart enough, skilled enough, intelligent enough, talented enough, resourceful enough, and resilient enough to get free on our own and get freedom in our lifetime by ourselves, because black people just that dope, then come to the IDFA. You can go to the
Yes.
IDFA.org. You can come to the IDFA.org. You get on the application. You go through the membership process. Somebody gonna call you, make sure you ain't the feds and all of that, and then we're gonna go to work. So if you down, let's get down and let's do something black. And we're Pan African organization. So you can do work in
Yeah.
electoral things, you can do economics. We ain't like the other Negroes that talk about black capitalism, because I understand black capitalism is exploiting, but black people need some money. So we need some businesses and we need some
Facts.
stuff.
Black people need some
So
money. Say that.
we'll talk about that a
Black
little
people
bit.
need
But
some
I,
money.
I'm gonna
Right.
go. I'm gonna go talk to Dr. Jared Ball. We're gonna have a long debate about his book, because there's some things in there that I see as facts, and some other things is saying, well, you applying some white people's understanding to economics, some
Yeah.
cooperative African things that probably to this eye it look like capitalism, but to the African trained eye, they're gonna say that's cooperative economics. Is how you scale up.
Right.
But if you want to do that, or
That's
if
a
you want to go
long
back to
held
Africa
debate.
and all of that.
Yeah, that's a
But
long
we
held
not.
debate.
But
And I
but look, we ain't debating over here. We building up economics. I debate with you,
no,
Queen.
I'm with
That's
you.
fine. But we gonna build, because
I'm with you.
I
I'm
feel
agreeing with you.
I want to prove. I want to prove a point that black people can own stores and put every product on the shelf and create every shelf in there and every nut and bolt in there. And that's what I believe that we got to do. And I feel like when we had this black capitalism, black economic conversation, we talk about only two parts: black consumerism, right? And what black gross income is. We're not talking about the
Right.
whole process. We're not talking about
Right.
investing in Africa and investing in the cotton to making the t-shirts and the denim with our own machinery and shipping that abroad and branding in ourselves. We talking about buying it or selling it. We're not talking about manufacturing. And that's the economic piece that I think Dr. Jared Ball and a lot of people are missing, because you have to be a Pan-African to understand that I can go get the cotton from my people over there. I can go get everything that I
Trade and
need.
commerce with African
Come on
people.
now.
Yeah.
Come on now. Come on, preach.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, so no, all I was saying was is that I cannot tell you how many times I watched the debate with Malefi Asante and Kwame
Mm-hmm.
Ture talking about this same thing 30 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
And I keep coming down on the side. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Kwame Ture. Love that. I mean, listen, honored ancestor, period. But when it comes down to it, for me, as a Pan-African, as a Pan-African nationalist, hey man, like I I'm completely on the side of Malefi Asante's argument. And they both made great arguments. I mean, it's really like almost like I felt like down the middle, but if I was forced to choose, I'm choosing what Malefi was talking about, which is what you're talking about, right? Because if we're always talking about consumerism, if we're always talking about, you know, is it less capitalist if black people are constantly still working for white people? Is it less capitalist? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
That's a
breaking
fact.
up, brother.
That's a
Yeah,
fact.
okay, I
That's
heard
a
you.
fact. Because
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah. So anyway, that's why you got to come back, because I feel like I want to have that conversation with you too. I really want to have that conversation too. All right, brother. I know you driving, you going through a rough area. See you next time. Peace, everybody. See y'all next week. We're moving to Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Moving to Wednesdays at 8 p.m. See y'all next week. Peace and blessings.